Hi, Jamie. Hi, Erik.
Hello, Erik says hi.
Hello. I was wondering, Erik, if you could bring in Mother Earth today.
He says, gee, what a surprise. He's being very cheesy.
Of course, as always.
Touching his cheek. Of course. He'll be right back. Well, he will be right back. It's a different right back. It's not like when somebody leaves and gets somebody and come back into a room.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like he fades away.
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere in the room is changing.
Mm-hmm. How so? In what way?
Well, that's really hard to explain. Have you ever had it where you've seen a little bit of fog in a room?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
About 3.5, 4 foot from
Mm-hmm.
the ground, there's kind of like a San Francisco fog layer.
Okay. Interesting.
This is Mother Earth. Mother Earth, he's quoting it, is a combination of life forces.
Is it what
So
now?
she's a combination of many life forces.
Okay.
So this is not like we're looking at one entity that has a pair of eyes and a nose that has any kind of human feature to
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Erik says, take the floor, Mom.
All right. Can you describe, Jamie, what you're seeing besides, or feeling with her energy?
My chest feels very light.
Mm-hmm.
Like after you take a deep breath and you hold it and you let it out,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have that expansive, tons of oxygen feeling in your
Mm-hmm.
chest. It's doing that naturally without me taking any kind of deep breaths. My muscles aren't tense at all. Everything feels very soft for me. I don't feel anxious or out of place, though it's confusing not to have a focal point when you're talking to someone. You know, you're just kind of hearing or knowing the information, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different than the other interviews that we've done, to where it appears that spirit has a human shape or form, and I hear them with an outer ear, like we have conversation. This is more of a knowing.
Interesting.
It's different.
Mother Earth, can you tell me about the origins of your spirit?
Again, I want to say it because the voice is neither masculine or feminine. Like, you can't identify it from the sound of it, and actually has a little bit of a electric sound. I say metallic, but I don't know if that really makes sense. Computerized in a way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say she just for the sake of it to keep it easy to communicate. But she's saying that she is a collection of many energies, that her origin is the same as the human origin, that she stems from a God source.
Okay.
She's not making it religious. She's beyond a belief system. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So she's not like the Christians or any of these beliefs say God created in 3 days or...
Oh, I just heard giggling. I think you're right. Oh, I didn't think about the story of how, yeah. No, it's not like that.
Okay. All right. So your origin was from some big energy source, some God source, basically. So you split off from God source just like we did.
Yeah, Eric's kind of making it sound a little more ghetto. He's like, yeah, like Mother Earth's God's sister.
Sister. You're supposed to say...
brother and sister.
Yeah, sister. There we go. Soul sister. All right. Well, how is it that you're a living force when... since you're mostly made of minerals, though? I understand that plants and animals are separate life forces, but explain how you, as Mother Earth, are a living force as a whole.
Her response, very loving, is reminding you that minerals are a life force of their own as well. Even though it may be hard or difficult for humans to identify life source within a grain of sand, a particle, a stone, because there is not the similarity in that stone or particle or grain of sand that there is to a human or to an animal or to a plant. It does not mean that life force is not entrapped within that boundary. I'm made of all these life forces. She's talking about the fire, molten lava.
Mm-hmm. The core?
Core. Mm-hmm. It's probably, core. The source of heat. She's talking about that being the belly of herself, mm-hmm. Where she digests, where she takes in the energy of what her skin, the crust, what her surface gives her, which is groomed and tended to by the plants, animals, and humans. Life forces. She actually extended beyond humans and mentioned beings as well. I guess we can take that however we want to there. Mm-hmm. As Erik is shouting out, aliens! She doesn't really use that term, but she does use beings as being more broad than just being human. Mm-hmm. That the core of her is what digests all these energies that comes down through her systems. The air that's entrapped within her organs, all the caves, the different systems. I don't know that word. Use another word. Erik says it's similar to what we might call an ecosystem.
Okay.
Like underground, we have these real cool caves. Mm-hmm. We have frozen tundra caves. Mm-hmm. We have hot caves. We have crystals being formed and grown.
Okay.
It's like she's mapping her whole body in comparison to how we know our human body. To have a digestive system, to have, the skin, have different temperature zones, to have meridians, that move energy. She said she possesses all of these. For sensitive people, they find it, and for sensitive beings, I'm getting corrected.
Busted.
Busted. For sensitive beings, they find it in her vortex energy. You go to these, as Erik's saying, you go to these hot spots all around. They say, you got to come here and meditate. Like, you can really communicate to the deceased or really get in tune. He's like, don't. Erik says these are like the pimples on Mother Earth's skin.
Oh, no.
Why would you call it a pimple? Call it like a nostril. That's like a vortex. It's like something burst and popped there. There's like a... That's gross. Don't change. He says, I'm trying to make it real, Jamie. It's real. So she's talking about the different systems that she has, that's similar. So these vortexes are almost like the locations of her chakras in a human body. We have vortexes of energy that push out and create an energetic field, and they can come in, they can shut down, they can work slow. She feeds off of all the subtle energies of all the life forces that she is made of. Quiet on this side. Your turn.
All right. Now, why is it so important for us to ground to you? We have these grounding exercises. What's that all about?
Her response is very simple. She said she's the common denominator between all.
Okay, that makes sense.
And she's using that term as being very physical. Our energetic bodies are really the common ground, but a lot of people cannot see these subtle energies. Therefore, they don't give it validation that it exists. Therefore, to them, it's not existent, right? But with Earth, everyone can gather that concept that my feet touch this, your feet touch this. Everybody can understand the shape of the Earth, the mapping of it, the atmosphere of her. Therefore, she feels in a visual effect and energetically as a conductor. She is the common denominator to all.
Hence, common ground. Ground.
Common ground.
There we go.
A clever girl.
I'm not without skills. Now, so you're not some sort of angel or archangel, right? Not something like that.
No.
And you couldn't incarnate if you wanted to. If you were destroyed, if you just, burst into flames and were no more. I mean, everything has some sort of end, right? Like the sun could burst into a supernova and then collapse into a black hole. If something happened to you when the sun was no more, and you also were sucked into a black hole, what would happen to your spirit? Would you incarnate? Or?
She could. The first part she took is that she has parts of her that die and incarnates into its choice. So Eric's telling me that when parts of her die, it can come back to the whole, incarnate back into the Mother Earth structure, or go into animal or plant or human, or stay in altered dimensional plane. So it's the same free will as that we possess as the human soul. Then if you're talking about that everything has an end, not so true with energy, but her physical body, that yes, the grain of sand can, erode into nothing, but then that energy that was possessed in a grain of sand moves on. So there's not an ending to the soul or the spirit of Mother Earth. She could, in essence, completely reincarnate into another shape or form. If that day ever were to come for her, she would decide it then.
And she could go back to God's source too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me about your relationship with plants, with plant life.
The color's changing in the room. I feel like I'm on some kind of science fiction ride. The color is, I don't really have it around me to show you. It's like a baby blue. Fog. I don't really hear anything right now. What is asking Eric what it means? I'm not going to say that. He's teasing me. It's not anything about Mother Earth or you or anyone else. I'm waiting. Why is the voice is different? Something's changed in the room. It's a little bit harder to hear her. I don't know if she just showed me a higher vibration, something that's a little different. If Erik would stop teasing me, I could focus more.
Erik!
He keeps trying to tell me something important, and he's not. He's poking fun at me. I'll share later, but I'm trying to ignore you for a second. What about the plants? Elisa, all I see are images in my head. I don't hear a voice on this question. And, the eternity symbol, the 8 on its side, it's in this really pretty blue, almost going into a silver color. I don't know how to interpret that.
Okay, well, let's go into non-human animal life. What's your relationship, Mother Earth, with that?
Now the fog has vertical lines instead of horizon. And it's green. I hear laughter. There's better communication with animals in the non-human form than animals that are in a human form. It's supposed to be funny, I think. There's something delightful about her saying this, though I don't really know how to interpret it. She mothers them, cares for the animals. Crap, I feel like I'm at the end of a dock. I have nowhere to move forward here.
I think we're outside of that joke.
I liked the white fog voice. It's much easier to tap into.
All right, we'll go on to humans. Mother Earth, what is your relationship with humans?
Went back to white fog, horizontal energy across the room, still about 3.5 to 4 foot off the floor. Coexistence is the word that I hear. Independence. There's a sadness. There's in this time, in this day, it's poor communication.
Yeah.
She's spoken louder than she's ever had to speak before, and still only a handful of humans are talking back. There's a magic that has been lost. There's been a belief that has been lost about the coexistence of all, or the unity, the concept of unity, true unity. Not just unity of like and like, human and human, but unity of human animals, human plants, human earth, human, and she says, describing herself more, mineral elements. It's wild. I get this image of a chart in my head. This is challenging.
I bet.
So it's like the circle on top, let's say Earth, and the little line comes down, and there's 1, 2, 3, There's 5 spots beneath her, the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Are there 5 elements? There's 4 seasons. All right. And 5 elements? Fire, water, earth,
Wind?
air, metal?
What's Earth? That would be Earth. And, animals? Energy?
Elements. There's 5. And
Okay.
then there's a line beneath each one. It looks like there's 6 subtitles under each 5, and then it just gets bigger and bigger. This is how she shows me that she is a part of all these life forces, of all these labels that we as beings have put on it. The plants, animals, and beings are parasites.
Uh-oh.
Got quiet.
Well, that could be parasites that are good, though. Like the cowbirds that pick off the insects or whatever from the cows. So there we go.
Eric's laughing so hard. I was like, "You're not even helping." He goes, "Nope, that was too sweet."
All right.
She was saying before, there's a communication or belief that's been lost. There's a relationship that's been lost between beings and her.
Okay. I can imagine. Why are you considered a feminine energy?
She said because she constantly gives birth.
Oh. Wow.
In a human scientific reality, she's a balance of masculine and feminine energy.
Okay. Do you have some sort of spiritual contract with humans?
No. I'm asking, really?
If so, we've broken it big time.
Yeah. The way she's saying it is she did not come into existence to make contracts with the plants, animals, and humans or the beings that have come to her. She's existed solely for herself and in a larger structure. Since you came to her, she was here before, since you came to her, then you are the ones who create contracts that involve her, but she does not initiate those contracts.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what do you think about how humans have treated you, and what effects will that have both on you and humans in the long run?
The layer of fog is still white, but it has different movements to it, horizontal and vertical, both. I hear maybe 3 different voices speaking at once. I don't know what to listen to. I feel very calm about it. I don't know what to say out loud. Can you break the question down into small bits? Maybe that would help.
What do you think about how humans have treated you, Mother Earth?
She doesn't place a judgment or an opinion on it.
Okay. What effects do you think that will have on you in the long run?
It is true that the use of I wish there was a better word. The use of her energy and the parasites that share space with her can create better health for her, or they can deplete her and send her into an imbalance that she cannot regain from. She has a full trust that everything will be as it is needed. There is no sense of fear or urgency to change. She's supplying an environment that she feels is necessary so the parasites, plants, animals, beings, may all fulfill their contracts of why they came.
Okay. Now, what do you think will happen to humans in the long run if we keep treating you the way we're treating you?
What will happen to the humans in the long run?
Mm-hmm.
You will not be able to thrive off of all that she is able to provide. Erik says depletion.
Okay.
It's a depletion.
Of humans or of the bounty that Mother Earth is, or both?
Bounty.
Okay, I figured. What do you think about the state of humanity overall?
The state of humanity overall. It's not her. She says it's not in her place to say.
Okay. Now, I know this is kind of a silly question. I'm going to ask it anyway, because I ask everybody I interview, are you here to learn anything? I mean, after all, you are a soul. You have a soul. And you're in somewhat of a body.
Like God, using that term very broad, learns from parts of him and herself. Mother Earth does the same. She learns from the parts of her and himself, the minerals, the elements, even learns from the coexistence from the parasites. I always hesitate to say that. It sounds like such a weird way, but in the visual that she shows me, it's very pretty. But you guys aren't getting that visual, so you're just hearing the word parasites, which doesn't really paint a nice picture.
I know.
She stopped talking.
Okay. Are you here to teach anything?
Unity.
Oh, yeah. Do you have some sort of spiritual mission?
The first thing that I heard was to survive.
Wow. And so far you've accomplished that? That's good. That's
so far.
So far. Tell us about the magnetic pole shift.
Sorry, I hear a bunch of voices again. It's layered.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I hear one of them talking about pressure. Pressure created by temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
Supported by different gravitational pulls.
Mm-hmm.
I hear another voice is talking about the cycle, having a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So much of the rotations, talking about rotations, balances, and that tens of thousands of years that this happens. Then I hear another voice talking about the changing of energy pockets located on the Earth itself.
Mm-hmm.
It shows up to the parasites let's just say to the life force on the surface.
There we go.
Huh? Okay. As very bad weather patterns, volcanic, megastorms, earthquakes, tsunamis, these pockets of energies, what is that? The plates?
Mm-hmm. Tectonic plates?
Ah, that's the word. Yeah, I should have listened in class.
Eric.
Erik says this is not highlighting my smarts. This is the kind of talk he's been throwing at me when I've been trying to not listen to him. And
I wouldn't talk, Erik.
He says, yeah, we can move on now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't put the finger at you, right? But we can point the finger at everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're busted. So these pockets of pressures, when they're relieved or shifted in the earth, it also creates different pools. Mm-hmm. Pool. When they say pool, it's also that pressure thing from like the first layer of talking, and it has positive and negative identities to it. Mm-hmm. It's not rare for her to switch them. Mm-hmm. Like she's done this before, but it's so far and few between that a lot of the life force living on the surface does not have a collective memory of it.
Oh.
So it always seems new to whomever is on the surface at that time.
Mm-hmm. Well, is it by design? Is it meant to change our energy, and is it meant to change our energy for ascension?
Is it by design? Yes. And then when you said ascension, I heard that light laughter again.
Or the shift, basically.
Yeah, she says that the ascension, this shift has always been there for you.
Okay. Well, is it meant to change our energy? I mean, why the pole shift?
It's not there to change the energies on the surface. It's there to help her stay in balance.
Oh, I see.
And those that are on the surface will have to adapt to the changes that she creates. And yes, this adaptation can and often will create or demand a higher tone. I think we could say vibration.
Okay.
For the life forces living on the surface.
Okay, well, what puts you out of balance that you need to be put back into balance?
Erik yells out, rain dances.
Oh, God.
Way to wipe out a whole culture.
Yeah, really.
Just that, Erik. Yeah. He wants you to know he's just teasing.
I know.
He said, I should have said, drilling for oil. Because you know that has to be like some itchy spot.
I can imagine.
Scratching.
So it's mostly the things that we do?
And age itself, the elasticity of gravity. When I think gravity, I think, the Earth's gravity. I'm so sorry if I'm about to appear really, really stupid right here. Erik's loving this moment.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a gravitational pull at the sun? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, I was just wondering about that.
Keeps the Earth in position located to the sun.
Yep.
That's the elasticity part that she's talking about. Mm-hmm. As she turns and rotates, there's a warp, a wobble.
Okay.
Not a warp, a wobble.
Okay.
I'm holding my tongue. Next question.
Uh-oh, Erik. You can't say it?
I wish he could be on film. This is not fair just to get my reaction off the snotty crap he says.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. You're busted, Erik. Oh.
I will. I will grow and have a talent on how to just, while he throws.
You have my permission to spank him.
No.
Are there any other plants that have the same relationships and spiritual contracts with life forms that they support?
Are there any other planets that have
planets that have the same relationships and spiritual contracts with the life forms they support. Yes, I read it wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Now, will the Earth, you, ever physically die? And if so, when? So we can prepare ourselves and pack our bags.
She says you won't live that long.
Oh, good. Physically, anyway.
Physically, yes. As a parasite. And yes, there will be a time where her physical body will go back into light. It'll go into flames. It'll burn. It'll get hot again. And her pieces of her body will break apart. The earth will break apart.
Mm-hmm.
And cool off. It's so many voices. I get a little image. It's not about our solar system, our universe here, expanding and kind of falling away or falling out of this, circular cycle. It's shrinking.
Okay.
And then she shows me it lighting up and exploding out. I would actually love to hear comments from people who are intelligent in this field.
Oh,
and
it sounds scary.
It's not anywhere near us as humans.
Well, I think the universe is contracting and expanding. I mean, does contract and expand, yeah. Well, will there be any humans on the earth at that time?
There will be life force. Humans will have far exceeded. Humans will have by then far exceeded themselves.
Okay.
I don't see spaceships and, living on other planets. She doesn't give me any kind of visual like that, but I feel that we've grown beyond what we know now, just being stagnant on Earth.
All right. So we have options, in other words.
Erik says, hell yeah.
Oh, good, good. Well, that's comforting. Where was your spirit before the earth was formed? Was it still part of God's source, or was it somewhere else before?
She responds quickly as, where was yours?
No, I don't. It was in another body.
She's not at the very beginning.
Say that again? Explain.
Not at the very beginning.
I wasn't, or you weren't?
You and herself.
At the very beginning, I was part of God's source.
Yes, and so was she.
Okay, I understand that. Okay. Now, do you have any advice for us?
I heard 3 things. One was to love yourself, to love your surroundings, your environment, and to love the people around you. So the way she made it was, like if you dropped a rock into the water, you hit the center first, which is love yourself, and it expands out to love your environment and to love the people that are around you.
Do you love us?
Yes.
Oh, I love you too. Now, tell me about your special relationship with certain cultures like the Hopi Indians.
She doesn't identify the cultures. She doesn't give groupings or titles to the parasites.
Oh gosh. Okay. So they created that special relationship to you. You don't give them that special.
Correct. It's just between her and the individual being.
Okay.
Her and the plant have the relationship. It's not her to the cultural belief or to the structure or society of it.
Okay.
It can only be created one-to-one, very individually.
Okay. Well, tell me about earth spirits. I think that's really interesting, like nymphs and sprites and so on and so forth. Do they really exist?
They're silly names for the spirits that reside in trees, kingdoms. Oh, you're doing that thing again. Showing that chart again.
Mm-hmm.
The elements and the labels and the titles. I think she feels like that's very satisfying to us as human beings to be able to see something scientific or structured.
And label it.
Yeah, I feel like she's really trying to work to communicate well to us. But the nymphs and the
Sprites,
sprites?
like, yeah.
Love Sprite. Good drink. Those are just labels for the souls that live in the trees or live in the plants. There are specific energies that she uses when she's working with the elements and changing seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And often she says that you will say, oh, I smell it in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can feel the weather is changing. Or I can feel something is coming. She says that's her releasing different energies to keep her in balance as she adjusts to the pressures
mm-hmm.
in her atmosphere and what her needs are with the pressures inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
The pheromones. Erik says that when we go outside and we go, oh, I can smell the rain coming. He says that's like Mother Earth's pheromones. Like her stinky pits.
Oh, Erik, God.
I don't think she has stinky pits. Whatever. So, these are energies that often people will mislabel as having a life force of its own,
mm-hmm.
but really it is just her way of releasing subtle energy to create what is about to happen and to make it work well.
So it's not a separate soul.
Correct.
It's just energy. Okay, that makes sense. All right, almost finished here with the interview. Erik, I'm afraid to ask this, but do you have any questions for Mother Earth?
Oh, he's trying to play cool. He's petting a mustache that he does not have.
Oh, yeah.
You have no hair. He goes, it's because I shave. Sure. No, he's going to back down off of this one.
I think he's done enough damage.
He has.
Oh, God. All right. So, Mother Earth, what do you think about channeling Erik, and can you give me suggestions to improve it?
She doesn't know how to tell you to improve it. Stay honest with yourself. Stay true with yourself. In her opinion or her insight, what does she think about channeling Erik? She was mentioning she finds it interesting. She'd hoped that she would have these conversations with every life force on the surface. But it's not happening to the degree that she can be communicating to each person. She enjoys having the ability to help people stay grounded. She enjoys feeling the feet and the playfulness on the surface of her, the digging in the sand or the dirt at the beach, sand at the beach or the dirt in the garden. She enjoys it. It's like similar to getting a light back scratch and feeling all loved and warm and fuzzy. She enjoys this kind of interaction in this relationship. And she's hoping that one day the emphasis that's put on the belief of God's source will also be put on Earth's source. That they'll be seen as a balance to each other. That not only will herself be included in people's understandings of how to live a balanced life or a balanced energetic life, or even to show gratitude for what's being offered to them. She hopes that you will also be able, in the near future, be able to understand what the universe, what even the solar system is providing energetically to the life force that is sharing space with her. There's so many more greater levels of energy and communication that can reside in this dimensional plane that we are on now, that we can be communicating to now, that we don't need to wait until we leave this entrapment to ascend. She looks forward to being awake and being alive to when life force does this with her.
Well, I hope it happens. That's a tall order, though. Any final messages for humanity?
She said it will happen, one at a time.
Yeah.
Messages to humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Very playfully said, give me your feet.
Oh,
That's her message.
that is so sweet. Well, thank you, Mother Earth. I'm going to go dig in the garden somewhere.
Yes.
It helped my little orange tree that I planted for Erik. Actually, it's thriving now. So thank you for that.
Love it often.
I will love it often. I always do. Well, thank you, Jamie. Oh,
She's saying farewell.
Farewell to you, Mother Earth.
Thanks for letting me be involved in that one.
I bet it was challenging.
It was.
And I bet Erik made it a little bit challenging too, didn't he?
Yes. And now you can go home and mess with your mom. Or mess with whoever's watching this video. Deal.
Uh-oh. Thanks a lot. Unleashing him on the unsuspecting public, huh?
Yeah, isn't that great? Give him something to do. He's like, I have plenty to do.
Oh, great.
He's thanking you a lot. He's saying he loves you very, very much.
I love you too, sweetie.
Eyes. Blowing kisses.
Okay, bye, Jamie. Love you.
Hey, take care. Love you too.
You too. Bye.
Bye.